Hi, everybody. Good evening. So we'll just wait for a couple of seconds for a few confirmations that everything is okay, and then we'll start the session. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I think things are fine now. We can start. So, hi, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Somebody said good evening. Good evening to you. So, today our agenda is to talk a little bit more about CAT 26. We have a new batch launch coming in. In fact, it starts today evening. I'll be taking the first class. Uh, whatever queries you have around this batch, or any queries which you have around this batch or the few upcoming batches which we have in the near future, if you have any queries, you can always ask them. So let's start. Let's start discussing. Okay, so Laksh, you have a query. Sir, if I start now, is it possible to crack CAT with a good percentile? So we'll obviously talk about all those things. We'll talk about how much, what kind of effort is required in the exact 125 days. Like I was just calculating today, we have approximately 125 days to CAT today. Okay. So approximately. Now, this 125 days, what kind of effort will you require on a daily basis? What will that become as a total effort? And what help and can we give you over here so that you are comfortable understanding and there's a proper plan you have? So somebody saying numbers or arithmetic. I don't get your question, but I'm assuming you're asking which is a more important topic or which is the first topic. Well, arithmetic is always the most important topic without fail. There is no doubt about it. Whether will we start with numbers or arithmetic? So we at IMS have a module one which covers all areas, a little bit of from all areas. So we have a little bit of numbers, we have a little bit of arithmetic, and we have a little bit of algebra also in module one, which helps you to understand other chapters. So that's how our module one is made. Okay. So please keep letting me know more queries if you have. I will talk a little bit about us. Now, this is the present sudden waiver which we have because we had 3328 admissions directly, 3328 unique students who got into the IIMs who had studied with us at IMS. So based on that, we have brought out a waiver. A rupees 3328 fee waiver is there. So anybody wants to apply that can apply. So first session in today's evening batch, yeah, at 7 p.m. today. Uh, Somebody's asking how to get into FMS with some percentile in the 10th, percent in the 10th and the 12th. Very frankly, FMS is one such college which hardly looks at the 10, 12 scores, the least weightage or the highest weightages of the CAT score. So I would worry if I'm looking at FMS as my dream college, I would worry lesser and lesser about this. Okay, so Mohammed is there, sir. Currently, I'm enrolled in weekday 14. So is it good to shift in this batch? Weekday 40 is an extra. Even this is an extensive batch, Mohammed. Only thing is in this batch we will have lectures, two lectures per day. So if you're comfortable with that, and if you have that kind of bandwidth to attend lectures, two lectures per day, Amit sir, IMS definitely. Dhruv, okay. So this is the online team which helps you with all your queries, all your lectures, all your doubts or whatever, all that is done over here. So let's start with my discussion, what I want to discuss. So let's first talk about what Mohammed's query was. This is also an extensive batch. Okay. When will masterclass start? Masterclass will start somewhere in mid-August. Anirudh, I will discuss that also today. Mahima, understand that I don't take all lectures in any batch. I will be taking some lectures in this batch. So I would not recommend you to shift a batch because you've already started a batch. Also, I will be available for a lot of masterclass sessions, some doubt solving sessions, some AMA sessions. I would recommend that you keep studying with your batch. And I will be available for AMAs, also a lot of video solutions and everything, and all those things. So I would not recommend. Okay, so exactly, Mohammed, what your query is, I'll try and answer. And Mohammed, my request, you want to write a test in English, try and chat in English. Okay. So this is an extensive batch which has total of 120 lectures. Now, when I say 120 lectures, these are your live class lectures. A lot of time people get confused and feel, yeah, Rohit, I'm exactly going to talk about that also. Just wait. So 120 lectures, this is exactly the live classes. A lot of time people get carried away saying that, okay, sir, uh, I've heard there are 300 lectures, 400 lectures. Please understand, those are a mixture of everything. Okay. 120 live classes, we have 650 plus hours of recorded video. Now, if you look at the recorded videos, I've never sat and calculated, but out of the 650 hours, I can say comfortably around 200, 250 hours or even more would be recorded by me. Phantom, you can't attend two batches. You either shift to a batch or you remain in your batch. You can't attend both the batches. You can take a transfer, but you can't attend both the batches. Okay. Now, this batch, as we said, starts today, 24th July. And we just sat and calculated exactly when do we think this batch will get completed. So it's roughly around the 24th October that this batch gets completed. Maybe a day here and there because of Diwali. But anyway, Diwali this time is in November. So it should not be a problem. We should be able to complete this by 24th October. As we said, this batch is Monday to Friday, having 2 lectures every day. So, okay. So 24th July to 24th October is your batch dates. Monday to Friday, 2 lectures every day. Obviously, you will be given a proper schedule, how your batch works, what is your syllabus, how do you start working ahead, which I will also discuss. Now, let's talk a little bit about how IMS ka pedagogy works. How do we expect you to study? First thing, what's a pre-class work? Well, this goes for any batch, whether you join this batch or any other batch. Whether even if you join an offline batch. Suppose if somebody is thinking of an offline batch also, the process is same. What is your pre-class work? What should you ideally do and come to class? So for example, if suppose you know Monday is a lecture on, suppose percentages, just give you an example, is a lecture on percentages. So first thing which you do is you revise, is you go through. We are not telling you to know completely in detail. Go through the concept videos. Okay. Now, different chapters have different number of concept videos. Like percentages, I remember, has 4 to 5 concept videos where we talk about everything in detail. What are percentages? How to convert percentage to fraction, fraction to percentage, and all those things. Go through the concept videos in detail. That's what. Now, this is roughly a 20-minute job. Okay. If you go through all the concepts in detail, and there's a small quiz also with it, try to solve that quiz. You should take roughly 20, maybe 25 minutes. For some chapters like time, speed, distance, you might take more time also. Where there are more concepts like geometry, some concepts will be large, more concepts are there. Geometry is a very concept oriented topic. So there you will take more time, but roughly 20 minutes on an average is what you should take. Okay, then comes your live class. Attend this class carefully, ask your doubts, try and attend it live instead of watching it recorded. Yes, the recording of the class will always be available to you. But if you attend the live class, that's always good. So try and attend live class, ask your doubts in class, try and understand how each question was solved, all those queries which you have that you keep asking. Okay? Third, you do the practice exercise. Do the practice exercise in detail. These practice exercises have video solutions available. So for all queries which you have, all doubts which you have, you can always go through the videos and you can still keep asking the doubts. Even after watching the video, if you have doubts, you can ask your doubts. Fourth, then you go through your benchmarking test. Benchmarking test. The benchmarking test kind of tells you that should I now move ahead with the chapter or should I continue solving a little bit more in this chapter? So the benchmarking test also has video solutions available. So this is when I look at one chapter, this is always your one chapter ka requirement. Go through this much. Go through the concept videos, do your live class, do the practice exercise, do the benchmarking test. If you do this much properly, one chapter is done and you can move ahead. That's how the progress should be. Okay. Now, so that, and now this is not only for quant, this is for quant, DILR and VARC. Same process continues for everything. If you need more practice besides this, you have the section test, you have module test, then you have SimCats, you have take-home test, all that we'll discuss. Okay. So Rohit has a good question. How many hours? Now, this is a very important question. How many hours? Now, I'm going to give this into two parts. What is my favored? See, always I assume if that you're starting a batch in July. We are very close to end of July. So if you're starting a batch in end of July, I assume that you're not doing anything else. And especially if it's a first attempt at CAT. If it is a second attempt at CAT, that's a different story completely. But if it's a first attempt at CAT and if you're starting a batch in end of July, okay, then I hope you're not doing anything else. Then I would prefer that you give a total of 8 hours a day. Now, if I put it on a weekly basis, this is 8 sevens are approximately 56 hours. What is your class time? Class is 4 hours, 5 days a week, which is approximately 20 hours, which means 36 hours is roughly self-study. This is where you're studying on your own, where you have your, as I said, you solve after class, maybe you want to solve the class exercise one more time, you want to solve the benchmarking test and so on, whatever the process be. So you do all that. That's your plan. Now, how do you study? We discussed this in the last session also, but how do you normally study? So Bhavika's got a point, how much time for one chapter? Arithmetic, algebra, whatever. See, Bhavika, that actually depends from chapter to chapter, also your comfort with that area. Normally percentages, if I look, Bhavika, if I look at topics like percentages, then ratios, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, allegations, mixtures, allegation, and time and work. If I look at these chapters, normally, I would say it's approximately, say, around 7 to 8 hours per chapter. What do I mean by this 7 to 8 hours? What are you doing? 2 hours is live class only. 2 hours of live class, and then you will spend going through the live class. We spoke about the pre-class part, then the benchmarking test and the practice exercise. So some chapters might take even 5-6 hours. That's okay, 5 to 6, and somebody might take 7 to 8 hours. But a topic like time, speed, distance might take you more hours. In fact, it's literally double. Time, speed, distance will take you double the time. Why? Because the amount of questions and the amount of things to be taught in time, speed, distance are also double. So every chapter which has, say, 2 hours of class time will require a total of 6 hours, which means 4 to 5 hours extra post your class is what I believe, Bhavika, you should want. Sudarshan, I will not go back and take any batches which have already started. I will take lectures in couple of batches which are starting now. Okay, so Shagun, we'll discuss that. So Shagun, what you are asking is basically about how to manage. Maybe you've already started. Let me first finish about today's batch and then I'll take more queries around that. Okay, perfect, Rohit. Rohit's again got one more very good question. When do I start writing mocks? Okay, whichever batch you are in, I don't care. Offline, online, wherever you are. As soon as module 1 is over, you start mocks. Don't wait for anything except that. Finish module 1 and start mocks because that's the best way. Okay, so CAT repeater ke liye, in fact, we've just, between me, Param sir, Kumud ma'am and Prasad sir, we've just created a video today. I think day after tomorrow it will get released where we are speaking about in detail what to do in the next 4 months. Go through that video very carefully if you are, looking to crack CAT seriously, it is meant for everybody. For somebody who's starting now, somebody who started in say January or December, and somebody who is a repeater. So all that we have discussed that. So Anirudh, every normally I say that 1 hour of in QA. When I look at 1 hour, you should be 1 hour is 60 minutes. You should be able to finish anywhere between 12 to 15 questions. Well, initially you might be a little bit slow. When you start practicing first time, you might be slow. You might solve only 10, 8 questions maybe. But over a period of time, you should reach 12, 15 questions. And that is a good number of questions to solve in an hour. Okay. So now if I start breaking up that 8 hours a week, which I was talking about, anytime you have 1 hour of quant, you're looking at solving 12 to 15 questions. 1 hour of LRDI, you're solving approximately 2 to 3 sets. Maybe two. Initially, maybe one. First 15 days, maybe only one set in 1 hour. It is okay. Then two, and then maybe 3 sets in 1 hour is what you should aim at after some time. And same goes for RCs. When I look at RC, in 1 hour, you can solve maybe 3 to 4 RCs. But that's not the only thing you're doing. Like in verbal, that's not the only thing you're doing. You're also doing some VA, you're also doing some vocab, you're also doing some reading. All that moves on, right? So Nasir Khan, just wait. I'll come back to the repeater wala part. I normally don't recommend that you need to join a full course. It all depends on how your attempt last year was. Okay. I'm reading the chats which people are putting up. Uh, so somebody is saying that, sir, I am unable to clear the benchmarking test. What should I do? See, for some of the chapters, you can try rewriting it by creating using the AI builder. What does the AI builder do? It creates similar questions. So maybe what you can do, the questions which you were getting wrong, you can just create, and through AI, you can create more questions there and start writing, practicing those questions again. Okay, sir, if we have just finished first module in the course, how much should we be practicing? Those people who have joined in June, July, especially. So see, very frankly, whether you've joined in June or July, your prep plan remains the same as what I'm talking today for this batch. Okay, 8 hours a day. Well, if you started in first week of June, maybe you can make it 7 hours a day, but that's not going to change drastically. See, whether the CAT pattern will change or not, we will know on the day the CAT announces it. Why worry about it today? Today, let's worry about what we know. We know that what the CAT pattern was, how the CAT is, sometime easy, sometime difficult, and that is what we are able to give you through the SIMCATs, right? Through every SIMCAT, we are trying to do that for you. Sometimes you're making it an easy SIMCAT. Sometimes, like if you've seen the SIMCAT 7K analysis which I created, the quant section was pretty easy. The verbal was difficult. The DLR was very difficult, and so on. Now, SIMCAT 8, something new will come up. So keep thinking that way. Don't worry too much. People start worrying too much. Have what, today we were discussing, have smaller targets. Don't go too much ahead of yourself. Have smaller targets. Like if you're writing a SIMCAT, and if you're not doing well, this is for the students who are not doing well. I'm saying start with a target of in QA of only 5 questions. 40 minutes, 5 questions. Just don't worry anything more. Can I get 5 questions right? Yes, I might still not clear the cutoff. No problem. But at least learn to get 5 questions completely correct in DILR. Try working on one set. One set, don't worry whether it's 5 questions, 4 questions, or whatever. Whatever is comfortable. And as I've been saying so many times in DILR, selection is greater than solving. So select well. That's very, 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 very important. Okay. Benchmarking test doesn't have revise with the AI feature. I think it has. You can check one more time, and otherwise you can raise a ticket. We will get it checked. Okay. So Anirudh, I don't analyze the exercises too much. So once I've solved the benchmarking test and the practice exercise, I want to move ahead. Yes, analysis of the SIMCAT is a complete different story. In fact, what I'll do is in one of these days, I will create a proper video between me and Prasad sir. We'll create a proper video where we talk only about how to analyze a SIMCAT in detail. Okay. So, Smurf, as someone getting 70 to 80 percentile in SIMCATs, how would you recommend? Try and have smaller targets, means exactly what I just said for you. So, yeah, Phantom, I agree. So just now said that SIMCAT 7, the LRDI was difficult, but then selection was very important. Were you able to select the right set? There was one set which was very easy. And I mean very easy. If you had spent even 10, 12, 15 minutes to select that one set and then solve it in the remaining time, you would have got at least 4 3 or 12 marks. I am not saying 12 helps you, but at least you reach there. Today, I don't know whether you're reaching 12 marks also. And then slowly move ahead. That's how you go ahead. So somebody who's already getting 70, 80 percentile, a good place to be right now in. If you're getting 80, 70, 75 percentile, say right now, what your job becomes is, how am I going to increase one question per section? One question per section I want to increase. So start thinking a little bit. No, जैसे verbal में, what can I do so that I have one new question? Say, am I doing parajumbles right now? What is my success rate at parajumbles? If I work hard and so I'll say 100 parajumbles, practice 100 parajumbles, my chances of getting that one extra question in verbal becomes high. See, I know that a lot of people say, sir, I can get one extra question through RC, but that you can anyway get, because if you're solving the RC, you just have to be careful about your accuracy. Okay, but bring one area in and try get one more extra question. Same way in LRDI, if I am solving one set full, can I go through the remaining second or the third set and at least try some questions which were theta? So when you will see the videos which I make for LRDI SIMCATs, you will notice that there are so many questions. For example, how many of these students will pass the exam? Random cheez bol raha hu. How many students will pass the exam? And in the set, there were only 5 students. So answer can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. And maybe from the conditions you will realize 1 and 5 are never the answer. So answer is 2, 3, 4 only. Only 3 options in a theta question become such a great thing, na? Negative आया तो भी ठीक है, and very high chance of getting positive. So Falgun, why do you start taking mocks? You need to start taking mocks because you need to start getting used to them. Lot of people just keep delaying their mocks. You know, they're just worried that, oh, if I write mocks, I will do badly. It is okay, no? You have 20 plus 20 mocks for that reason only, that it is okay if you do badly in some of them. Don't worry so much about doing badly in mocks. Just keep continuing with your process, and I'm sure you will do well. So, one a good thing was today, again, which we were discussing, trust the process. What is the process we are doing? Okay. For every chapter, what I just discussed, can I keep doing that stuff? Can I keep saying that every day I will spend, say, whether it's 7, 8 hours, or somebody who started early, whether it's 4 hours, 5 hours, if you're work. What about a working professional who's joining this last batch? What should he be looking at? Well, he should be looking at least 4 to 5 hours every day still, because 4 hours to his class only. Even if he's not watching the live class and he's watching a recorded class and say finishes in 3 hours, but still he'll need to study a little bit besides that. He'll have to practice something. So that 4 to 5 hours which you'll have to put is very important. If you're not going to put those 4 to 5 hours, and then those 4 to 5 hours become complete concentrated 4 to 5 hours, not wasting any time at all out of that. You know, no phones, nothing, just spend 4 5 hours continuously on that. So somebody saying, sir, please bring marathons on YouTube. 100% they will come, Abhijit. Like last year, we had 3 marathons. This year, I will be doing 5 marathons from all the modules. I will definitely be doing the marathons. But what are you waiting for, Abhijit? Abhijit, if you feel that marathons are helpful, what are you waiting for? Tell me, how much has CAT changed from last year to this year? Not much. My last year's marathon are already there on YouTube. Have you finished solving them? If yes, I'm very happy. But start, no, Abhijit, there's nothing to wait. So exactly, Bhavishya, what he said, sir, what I just said, that if you're a working professional not able to give 8 hours, then what you'll have to do is on a daily basis, you'll have to remove 4 hours from somewhere. Okay. And on the weekends, you'll have to bring around 12 hours. So if you do 4 5s are 20 and 12 2s are 24, you're still bringing 44 instead of 56. And remember, if you're really looking to crack the cat from here, I think that's bare minimum. Okay. Okay. Will this batch include prep for AdMats as well? Yes, it will include prep for AdMats. It will include prep for GDPI also. No worries. So Abhijit, great. If you've done that, we will, as this year's marathons will come, there'll be completely fresh questions. Everything will be there. Okay. DILR marathon is something which I have not thought of, Sahil, but I'll definitely try and do that also this year. So Debojit, maybe you need to go back to some section test, some modules. Debojit, take smaller steps. What I'm suggesting is, can you finish one module really well in detail and say, okay, I am now comfortable in arithmetic. Take 20 days from today. Today is the 24th of July. Take 20 days from here, say around 15th August. Can you say 15th August, I am free from arithmetic. I know everything in arithmetic. Now, once you know everything in arithmetic, you're close to attempting 7 to 8 questions on the day of the cat and getting maybe 5 right. From 15th August, then if you look at even 3 times, once 15th September, 15th October, 15th November, if you can add algebra, geometry, and numbers in that order, first algebra, then geometry, and then numbers, then also, and keep studying a little bit of arithmetic and then keep writing tests, Debojit, I'm sure you'll have those extra questions. Smurf, okay, one more thing, what I don't believe in. Okay, so for this batch, teaching faculty, but for the con team will be between me and this one. Sorry, I'll get you the names. Don't give me a second. Bhushan sir will be taking the batch. Okay. So yeah, the questions Smurf had was, for quant, is it important to solve a higher quantity of questions or just getting the concepts right through? No, I don't think so. You need to go through the questions also. You need to have good quality questions solved. But one very, 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 very important thing, and this goes like a general statement for everybody. Do not get carried away solving difficult questions. CAT does not test you on very difficult questions. Remember, nobody clears the CAT by solving very difficult questions. You do well or you clear the CAT by solving questions which are easy to medium. You have to learn to avoid the difficult questions, and that is how you go ahead. Okay, so that's very important. Not at all, Bhavika. You should never, never, never look at the video solution before you solve. Because watching a video solution without solving is my favorite dialogue. It is like saying that I have watched everything which Virat Kohli has done in his life. I have watched all his matches, and next month I'm going to go and play on Lords. That's impossible. So, Bhavika, you never watch video solutions before you start solving. You always solve and then watch videos. And if you go through my earlier video of last time, I also talk about don't even watch the whole video. Wherever you felt that you now understood the question, pause the video, try the question again, and only then start the video again. So, Bhavika, what you said, exactly opposite. Should we give mocks every week? Right now, you should give mocks the way the live mocks are being asked. Okay, you can always add some, it all depends on where your syllabus is. If your syllabus is already done, you can keep writing mocks every week. But if you're already into syllabus, maybe you can slow down a little bit. Sahil, start working on caseless based DI sets. Now start working on that. No, stop that. First of all, stop saying that I am not very comfortable with this type. In DILR, I always tell people, don't look at a type. At that time, look at the conditions. In a particular set, break it down into how many conditions, how many direct, how many indirect. Like if you notice what I've said in so many DILR videos is that the table which you're going to create, how big is that table? Like for example, I was solving some set recently. It requires a 4 by 8 table. If it requires a 4 by 8 table, there are 32 things which I have to put in the table, whether they are name of teams, whether they are numbers, whether they are whatever. There are 32 things I need. Versus there was some other table which I was solving, which was only a 3 by 3, which only required 9 values. Logically, this is much easier than this. But you also need to figure out how many direct statements are there, how many indirect statements are there in DLR. So my DLR ka favorite part, direct, indirect statements. How many of each? If direct is more than indirect, normally the set is doable. And if indirect is more than direct, normally the set is not doable. That's the basic part of it. And again, if you will keep watching the SimCAT video solutions, I will keep talking about this every single SimCAT. How many direct statements, how many indirect, how many direct, how many indirect, and so on. So Scrabbler will take lectures in the batch which we start, the CAT 100 batch, the 100 batch. So where students above a particular score get qualified for the batch, and Scrabbler will take those lectures 100%. But to learn from Scrabbler, you already need to be at a slightly higher level, because then if you are at the base level, it becomes difficult to learn from Scrabbler. So to learn from Scrabbler, great personality, great way of solving, but you should be already at some amount of level before you do that. Okay. So mocks every week I've already discussed. So Mahima, yes, what I will be doing is I might not take one-to-one sessions, Mahima, but I'm going to take a lot of group sessions, a lot of AMAs. You can keep coming for them, and I'll try and open up some one-to-one slots, but mainly AMAs, and this will work. So Falgun is a pretty decent. I'm a repeater with a PW category. What should I aim for? So aim always for the highest. Aim for 99. With your category, maybe you might not require 99, but if you're already getting a 75, 80, I would want you to aim for 99. So Shreyas, the DI part, as I've been saying for so many times, selection greater than solving. Learn to select your DI sets really well, and then I will again, as I said, I keep saying, whenever I take sessions, I might take a session completely on only selection of DILR sets. I will take that session in the near future, or keep watching from the mocks. There I always talk about selection. So how many direct statements, how many indirect statements will be the most important thing, Shreyas? Muskan, I've answered your question. You're asking the same question again. Naman, as I already advised, I would not advise you to shift to a batch just because I'm going to take some lectures in the batch. I'm not going to taking all lectures in this batch. So understand that I don't want you to feel cheated at any stage. So Debojit, it is not necessary to buy hard concepts, but more than by hearting concepts, it is about understanding concepts. For me, I really don't buy hard concepts, but I want you to understand the concept, how the concept is being applied in a question. Yes, like formulas you can buy heart. Like if I ask you what is the volume of a cone, then you have to buy heart this. There is no other choice. Yes, there is a choice that you can understand even this one. That's a different part. But it will be great if you can buy heart this. Volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r square h. The more you buy heart it, great. Same way, some calculations. It is great if you buy heart it. Like if you know your squares, till I always say squares till 32. If you know 32 square is 1024, that's the fastest way. Lot of ways in which 32 squares can be derived. But if you know it, that's the fastest way. So you don't have to buy heart everything, but you need to buy heart some 10, 15%, 20% stuff so that your speed improves. So make Patel, sir, I'm from old batch syllabus completed. I have completed till module through functions and inequality. Still should not make 5 questions correct. How can I prepare now? So make work on areas. First work only on areas. As I've been saying, if I have to look at maths, what I would do, I would first go to arithmetic. Within arithmetic also, I'll break it to two parts. Everything else and TSD. So this is my first category, category 1. Okay. Then I would go to TSD. Then I would move to algebra. Within algebra also, I break it up into two parts. linear and quadratic, and over here maxima minima, functions, inequalities. Okay, that is my third. Then I don't even define a module or something like that. I come to special areas. I come to surds, indices, and very, very, very important, and my favorite area, logs. Surds, indices, and logs. That's my third thing to do. Okay, that's my third thing to do. Then what I would go ahead is then I would go to geometry and modern maths and so on, or numbers before modern maths. That's how I work. So, Ares, I'll have somebody, you can call up the counselors and ask them. That's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. But you should just worry about whether do you need only a test series plus masterclass? Is that good enough? Do you need something else and so on? Oh, wow. I want to give 150 mocks till CAT. Too much, Ajay. Ajay, I think that's a huge number. You should not think of it. You're putting a burden on yourself. Because what will happen then to complete 150, you will not analyze them well. I would be happy if you gave 30, 35, 40, but analyze them in detail. After one stage, no, writing more and more mocks has no sense. It is just about how are you analyzing well and learning from your mistakes. If you don't learn from one mock to the second mock your mistake, then there's no point, right? So Ajay, that number is really vague. So from which date the class from 9:30 to 11:30 will start from the last batch, because there is no upcoming class that has been shown. So today, I think from Monday, Bhavishya, that should start. Today there'll be only the first day, one lecture, and from Monday there'll be two lectures. Okay. Sorry, Sai, that's not my domain at all. So I'll not be able to guide you on that. But yeah, the aptitude part, if you're preparing for CAT, will get done there also. Okay, so what is a very common mistake which I see people doing in the last 2, 3 months? First mistake, I see people stop taking mocks because scores are not improving. First mistake. These are mistakes, okay? People stop taking mocks because scores are not improving. Now it's a catch 22 situation. Scores are not improving because I don't take mocks, and scores will not improve because you don't take mocks. So you have to keep writing mocks. Yes, maybe you can take a small break. Maybe you can miss one or maximum two mocks in between and say, okay, let me just give myself 15 days, work hard, and come back for the mocks. I understand that part. Second mistake, which I feel that people stop concentrating on DILR. They stop solving. They feel that, okay, whatever I've solved is good enough. I don't need to solve more. Completely wrong. You need to keep solving. Okay, because Quant has chapter wise division. People keep doing that well. But in DILR, because there is no such defined syllabus, people stop solving after some time, which I don't like. Uh, Third mistake is lack of motivation. So you need to motivate yourself. Nobody's going to come and motivate you. Motivate yourself. Always the best way to look at it is always think of a life which you have dreamt of post an MBA. You know, uh, even if it is not, the motivation does not always have to be money. It has to be a good life. So if that life which you have dreamt of post MBA, bring it in front of you. Maybe if it needs some posters to be put up on your work desk or whatever, or on your laptop or on your phone, put them up and work towards that life. That's very important. Okay. So IMS will have a small ZAT program towards the end, like a revisor kind of thing, but that will be post CAT or towards the end. Max, you can put this question up to one of our mentors and somebody will put it up to Prasad sir and he'll answer it. 100% the same day if possible. You should analyze the mocks, or you can actually wait for the video solutions to come out and then analyze the mock. Now, analyzing the mocks is a very detailed part. Simple. In fact, I was asking somebody more in VARC and DILR. What would I want you to do? First thing, I would want you to solve the test again without time pressure. That means no timer, nothing, and solve the 5 sets of DLR and the 4 RCs of VRC and try solving it. You will start realizing that without the time pressure, suddenly you're doing so much better. And that's how you will start thinking a little bit better. So, analyzing is very, very important. So, Kaustubh, if you have solved everything which you had to do in last year in DLR, I will just want you to keep solving more and more sets this year. Like if I look at 125 days, Kaustubh, at your level, Kaustubh, I would want you to solve 4 to 5 sets every day from here onwards, which will be a good number of 500 to 600 sets. So that's a good approach, Kaustubh, you should have. Piyush, I already spoke about this in detail. LRDI, there is no revision. Just keep moving ahead. Don't go back. The only areas you can really go back is maybe Venn diagram and maybe tournaments. These are the only areas you want to revise some sets. But otherwise, in LIDI, you just keep moving ahead. No, Avila, you'll have to work towards whatever my cat requires else. So please, that's a very different question. The only thing scares me is tournaments. See, RS, again, I always say that, I never look at it like a tournament set or a Venn diagram is the only set I look at like a topic wise set. Besides that, everything what I look at it at that time and I say, is it doable or not doable? Whether it is logic, whether it is DI, whether it is tournament, whether it is something else, whether it is scheduling, I always look at it at that time and ask myself, how many direct statements versus how many indirect statements? That's my favorite question. Every single time you look at DLR, you have to ask yourself, how many direct statements versus how many indirect? So how many days quant will be completed from 24th July batch? Everything will get completed together. ऐसा नहीं कि पहले quant खत्म हो जाएगा फिर DLR फिर verbal. Everything will go on together. Rough completion date of the batch is 24th October. Okay, I think we've more or less covered all the questions that, and we're at a good 45 minutes. So anybody who's still worried about whether they should join this batch or not, maybe you can still think over the weekend or join the batch today, whatever. And if you already joined, I'll see you at 7 o'clock. But if there are any queries you still have, please ask our counselors. They're always happy to help you. Okay. So RS, I will, as somebody suggested, will it be possible to take a masterclass on DLR? Maybe this year I'll do that also. So is there any crash course from IMS? So IMS does not have a crash course. It has an extensive batch and a focus batch. So in August, we are starting a focus batch. Focus batch is a batch where the batch gets completed in lesser number of lectures, where we expect you to, in that batch, we expect you that you have gone through the concepts and have come for class, and the syllabus goes at a slightly faster pace. I will be a mentor for some of the chapters. I'm being very fair. Maybe 3 chapters per module is what I'm looking to take in this batch. So please do not, I don't want you to cheat you anything. Okay, Ritik? So SB prep, 7 to 8 minutes per question, which means you're still solving 5 to 6 questions, right? That's not bad. Slowly, slowly, your time will come down as you keep. Now, one very important thing when you look at people tell me, today there'll be only one lecture. Now, when a lot of people tell me in QA how to improve my timing, how do I move fast? Couple of steps in the mind. I don't want to do the whole question in the mind. You can do the whole question in the mind when you're very good. Okay. But otherwise, a couple of steps in the mind. Don't sit and write every step. Okay. So, for example, after you solved everything and you reach, say, just for example, you've reached a quadratic equation. Now you have to be able, finally factors तो तुमको work out करना ही है. So 20 and 4 are the factors. At this step, you should be able to write x is minus 20 and x is minus 4. Okay. So Bhushan sir will be one of the other mentors for this batch. August batch may I don't promise how many lectures I'll take. I don't know that for today. In the July batch, as I said, I'm taking uh, three chapters per module mainly. Around that much is what my focus is on. Okay. Okay. Last question from Mahima. So actually, I'm a repeater. I can't seem to nail the strategy I should follow for VRC. I'm scoring 35 to 45 marks DLR, 1 to 1.5 size, but I have to revise quant as it's a strong area. It is a strong area, but how? So if it is a strong area, no Mahima, you follow the strategy which me and Prasad sir talk about a lot is reverse strategy. Start a mock or a section test, see which areas are not doing well. Go after two or three mocks or after two or three section tests, break down the areas which you did not do well in, go back and revise those chapters from the book or from whatever material you have. So people who are good at a particular area, especially quant, this is the best strategy for them. If you're a repeater and if you're good at quant, write the mock. From the mock, you will come to know, okay, say, I normally don't do well at geometry very well. Then maybe you can spend 10 days, 12 days on geometry and try and improve your geometry. Or, I've worked hard on arithmetic, but my accuracy is not very great. I don't normally land up with a good score in arithmetic. Then you need to work on arithmetic and so on, Mahima. That becomes a very good strategy for repeaters. Okay, that's it. We are ending the session now. I hope everybody has clarity. And as I promised, every week once I'm there for an AMA, good, still trying and fixing that day up, mostly a Wednesday or a Friday. One of the days we will have a session, one AMA for everybody. Everybody is welcome for that AMA. Whether you're our student, not our student, you're most welcome. Maybe for our students, I'll have also a AMA directly on Zoom. Param sir has already started doubt solving for the online batches. I hope you all are attending that doubt solving session. Sitting 1 hour with Param sir and solving itself is a huge thing. The way he thinks in quant is great. So please use that. Even if you don't have doubts and if you're free at that time, go and just attend it. That 10, 12, 15 questions, whatever we will do, will definitely help you. Okay. So don't miss out on all those things. So simple things, same way I'll also come up with next week onwards, some more doubt solving sessions. I am trying and doing, people have requested me to try and do as many mocks as possible, video solution. We're hoping that from here onwards for quant and DILR, I'll try and do every single mock so that that request of students is taken up. Okay. But as I said, any booster sessions, any revisor sessions, please do them. Masterclass will start for everybody. You're just supposed to join the Google Meet. He puts up a Google Meet on link on the Telegram group and it is circulated also. For AMA, we'll keep announcing it on a regular basis. Don't worry. So if you're an IMS student, Kuldeep, Param sir already has started. Last week he did 4 times a week. I think this week also he's doing 4 times a week. Ask on your Telegram group when is Param sir doing doubt solving. Whenever he's doing doubt solving, please attend that. Any IMS student, any IMS online student, I'm telling you a very simple thing. If there is doubt solving session, whether you have doubts or not, but if you're free at that time, please attend that session. Whatever 10, 15 questions you will get to see, that itself will be a good thing. It will be a good revision. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Best of luck. As I said, hope to see you in some other batches. And for the other students, I'll keep seeing you for somewhere or the other, last mile to CAT or any other sessions. Bye bye. See you. Good evening. Have a good evening.